Y'all good there.
That is why Chris Jericho had the best debut in WWE history. All right, The Rock's out there in the middle of the ring. He's cutting his promo, and all of a sudden, that countdown that we had been seeing for a month, it all of a sudden appears on the screen. The Rock turns around like he starts pacing back and forth. He puts the glasses up, and then boom, it hits 0. Black out of the arena, explosion. Poof. It's going down, bitch. Break the walls down. Break down the walls. Jericho had the hardest intro in WWE history.
Listen, I cannot deny I was there when that countdown was happening. I could not wait to see what was going on. When the clock hit 0 and this old random ass nigga who I never knew came out, I was
Come on.
Who is this? Who is this nigga? The podium. I was like, who is this?
Come on, Will.
Who the fuck is this?
My man came out to the ring and hit him with the "Welcome to Raw is Jericho."
That was dope. That was dope.
They were sold on this character from jump.
That was dope. But again, at the time for a dude I did not know, I was just like, okay. And again, as I said, and I'll say it again.
Yeah, man. He went toe-to-toe with Rock.
Chris Jericho is the best B player of all time.
The first undisputed champion in WWE history. He beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night, Will. Give that man his respect.
Mm-hmm. And he lost it at WrestleMania to Triple H and never got it back again. Ever. Hey, Finn Balor was the first Universal champion.
And lost it.
He never got that back.
He lost it the next day.
Kane was the heavyweight champion for 24 hours.
Who?
Kane. Connie for my little cousin and stuff. But yeah, but anyway, welcome to Games That Define Us. Of course, as y'all see, we had started a wrestling debate and everything like that. Man, we might have to bring that here to All Def Gaming.
We might have to bring that to All Def Gaming, brother.
Y'all let us know. But I am Will Pharaoh.
Khleo Thomas, aka Mr. Slick Living.
Patrick is, fighting dragons in the Sky Kingdom right now for the Cloud Village and stuff like that. So he says that the campaign is almost finished and he is going to join us soon. So instead of getting started with the normal of Games That Define Us, we want to add a new segment in.
Mm-hmm.
That is called the On This Day.
Yes.
So, of course, we have had thousands upon thousands of game titles drop throughout the years, of course. And so now I think there's a dope catalog of anniversaries when stuff drops.
Yes.
So if you are following us on IG, All Def Gaming, you would know that today is the 25th anniversary of Daytona, USA. Do you remember Daytona, USA on Sega Saturn?
It was the Sega Saturn?
Sega Saturn. You listen. None of us in the almost 4 years that we've known each other, none of us have brought up Sega Saturn.
Nope.
Whatsoever.
Has to be a failed console at that point, man. Like, the Genesis is iconic, but the Sega Saturn, what did it even look like?
It was a failed console. It was a failed console. It pretty much that's why the Dreamcast. It pretty much was the beginning of the Dreamcast failure too. So, yeah. But I mean, it had some good games.
So This whole time, I thought the Sega Dreamcast was the first console from Sega to use CDs and discs. It was the Saturn.
The Saturn. And it was thin too. They were thin. They were thin like a PlayStation case, but they came like this big. They were tall, but they were real thin cases that you could open up and the CD was in there. It was almost like Sega wanted to bring PC to their new console, but it didn't work.
Nope.
It just didn't, for some reason, man. Just the video game gods and the people just were not having it, man. But they did have a few classics that they did pull out, and Daytona USA was one of them. It dropped today, 25 years ago, 1995, man. 1995, I think, was a good year.
What happened in 1995? We had that game drop. What else happened in the year 1995? Well, NBA Finals, the first thing that comes up. Who was in the 1995 NBA Finals? It looked like it was the Rockets versus the Magic.
Yeah.
Olajuwon versus a young Shaquille O'Neal.
Yep. Let's not forget, that is when Khleo Gangsta Paradise came out.
Nice.
Still one of the hardest songs to this day.
Is it?
It is. It is. You listen, when that chorus hit, Brad, this is what you do. I want you to get in a muscle car. I want you to drive at 2 a.m. in the hood, and I want you to be playing Gangsta's Paradise. You go feel every piece of that song as you driving. When that chorus hit, it's a wrap. It is a wrap for you, sir.
Let me remind you some other songs that came out in 1995. Dear Mama, Tupac Shakur.
Facts.
One of my favorite records by Adina Howard, Freak Like Me. Love that record. Exhale by Whitney Houston. Oh my God. Someone to Love by John B. Yeah, 1995 had hits, bro.
Hey man, and let's not forget that year was a year that lived in infamy. The Juice, O.J. Simpson was on trial.
In the 1995 year.
Yes. O.J. Simpson was out here with his life on the line with that fat ass head of his, just trying to make it out.
Toy Story. Jumanji. 7 with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Bad Boys.
Braveheart.
The first Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, man.
Desperado. Die Hard with a Vengeance. A Goofy movie. Came out in 1995. Oh, yeah, no, that's it. I'm sorry. And of all 90s, 95 might be the greatest year of all.
Listen, we talk about 97 real hard, but 95, man, we might need to, look, we got some show ideas, man. We might need to
revisit
this as a debate, like years versus years, like, you know, like how we do Great Taste, like the best years, like 95 versus 97, 93 versus 96. And just go head to head. I think that'll be a joke. Look at us, man. This is Shark Tank right now.
Right off the top, man.
It's right off.
95 was a beautiful year, man. So yeah, I love that idea though, of going year for year, 365 days versus the other 365 days. Why not?
Oh yeah. So also another game that dropped today in 2010, which is now 10 years old as well. Skate 3.
Oh wow. I never got into skates, man.
Skate was cool. I think it was either Skate 2 or Skate 3 had a very good storyline, because basically it was kind of like Tony Hawk. You were on the come up, trying to make your way into the industry as a skater, and they would have you do like magazine covers to where you would have to hit a move, and they was like, you hit this move, this is going to be the cover of your magazine, but you had to do it yourself. And
right.
Having to gain different points and stuff from doing this and different sections and places. And so I enjoyed skate, but just like most skateboard games, they run their course. You kind of just like, all right, I can kind of have my feel of the skateboard stuff. I'm ready to move on to something else.
Yeah. Shout out to Skate, man. I saw there was a news article talking about they are looking to reboot the Skate series, but not for console. Mobile.
Then it doesn't count. No, then it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
It don't count. No, it doesn't count.
It doesn't.
But Kadeem, you're saying that doesn't count, but meanwhile, you went and played all the Kingdom Hearts games that were for the Nintendo DSs. I don't want to hear that.
No,
you
that's not the same thing.
Off-branding.
That's not the same thing. Mobile games on a phone and me playing my DS or my PSP or my Vita is not the same thing. They gonna make you pay for everything on that mobile phone.
You want new wheels? Microtransaction. Exactly. You want new trucks? Microtransaction. Exactly. You want to do Tony Hawk's 900? Microtransaction.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I don't know why you were wasting your time playing Kingdom Hearts at all, but
let's not do this. Let's not do this.
Listen, man. I'm gonna let y'all know now. This is bitter Pharaoh week. I'm just letting y'all know, because
that's fair warning.
I said this on my live yesterday. I blame all the black people for what happened yesterday. Didn't know if you watched Black Blasphemy. Didn't nobody tell me the 5 Heartbeats wasn't a real group.
That was a big shock to everyone's system, bro. The chat, the comments, it split right down the middle. You're not alone. A lot of people thought the 5 Heartbeats were a real group.
Loela, don't you tell me not to start in the chats, man. We still harping on this. I went to sleep and I woke up thinking about this, man. I even looked on iTunes. I was like, maybe there's like a special edition we didn't look up. There is no 5. You know what I kept wondering too? It made me feel most stupid because I was like, all the talk black people keep talking about with the 5 Heartbeats, I was like, why ain't they never performed at the BET Awards? I was like, why haven't they been putting like any kind of Hall of Fames yet?
Where's their honorary awards? Where are they at?
Yeah, I was like, where's the then and now on them? I was like, that's because they don't exist.
Nope. But this whole time, man, you were living in a world thinking the 5 Heartbeats were a real group, with Robert Townsend starring as one of them.
The 5 Heartbeats is a parody, and that's what y'all should start calling it.
Oh, parody's a strong word.
CB4, 5 Heartbeats.
That's disrespectful.
No, it's not. Why?
Because Chris Rock and CB4 was for sure a parody. It was satire. They were clowning. It was nothing but shucking and jiving.
It is a parody. How you want to take parody is on you. But we're gonna move forward. We are gonna move forward. We're not gonna harp on this no more. I just wanted to get that out there that Black Blasphemy is a good thing to have in this world right now because we unlocking a whole bunch of things in this industry. But I guess since Pat is still fighting dragons in the Sky Kingdom, I guess we can go ahead and what's that?
He said he needed about 10, 15 minutes, and that was like 5 minutes ago. So he'll be here.
Okay. He's gonna be here, y'all. So everybody that's here for the cloud as well, he is coming in. But I do know what parodies mean. Brandon Walker in the chat, it is a parody. I don't care what nobody says. It is based off of somebody else, and there was some comedy in it. I laughed, so that makes it a parody.
Last movie, really quick, I just want to mention that came out in 1995. Money Train.
Money Train, man. Shout out Chris Tucker, man.
That's not that one.
Oh shit, wrong one. Money Talks.
That's Money Talks. Money Train had Wesley Snipes and Jennifer Lopez and my man Woody Harrelson.
Woody, dang, they had done a lot of movies together. What was another one you said came out? Jumanji,
1995. Batman Forever. I think that's the one with Val Kilmer.
Trash. All trash. All trash.
Like you said, Braveheart. The Great Giving the Lamb. Another Land Before Time movie.
Land Before. I don't. Look.
We talked about this. There's nothing about it. There's nothing. 3 Ninjas. Knuckle Up. Don't know which that one was. I was never a fan of the 3 Ninjas. I never got into that series.
Surf Ninjas was fire. If y'all ever seen Surf
Ninjas. What the hell is Surf Ninjas?
So, man, let me tell y'all about Surf Ninjas. I would not recommend you watch it now. You need to watch it back then. But it starred, what is his name? It starred Eddie. Matter of fact, do you remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2?
The little Asian kid?
Yeah, the pizza guy. It starred him and it starred Deuce Bigelow, Mel Gigolo. But the dude from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Eddie Reyes, I think is his name. Him and his brother were basically like prince. They were royalty in like I think Thailand or some stuff like that. But they village and everything got taken over by Colonel Zhao. And guess who Colonel Zhao was played by?
Who?
Leslie Nielsen. R.I.P. Leslie Nielsen was a white emperor that was taking over the world.
I gotta look this cast up.
And so they had this dude with an eye patch that dropped them off to a guy that was also a boatsman there. And so they had them growing up in the shores. I think it was Santa Monica too, on the beach. So they became surfers and stuff like that. But then, of course, they found out where they were trying to kill them. So now they got to start training them. What was so dope about it, and the reason why I bring that up is because the youngest one had a Game Gear. It was a Sega Game Gear. And it had to kind of do with something like, because they kind of had like mystical powers about them too. It was faint and subtle, but it wasn't like nothing like kind of big, but it kind of like had that spirit to it. And he had a Game Gear that pretty much like showed him what was about to happen, but in video games. So like it would show back to him like his brother was fighting like a Chinese restaurant. They was kicking ass and stuff. And so it would show him playing it and him selecting like, yo, use the chopsticks. And then his brother would actually pick up the chopsticks and be using them to whoop ass. Another person that was in there, Kelly Hugh from X-Men.
Yep, I see Kelly Hugh. There's two cast members to this Surf Ninjas film that just surprised me. Rob Schneider, Leslie Nielsen. I'm like, okay, there's no way you're topping that. Tone Loc just topped it for me. What is my last person in this movie? Why is Tone Loc in this movie?
He was a detective. He was a detective because basically when they were trying to come kill him, their house blew up. And so when the house blew up, their dad got kidnapped. And so he's trying to like help them out and trying to figure out what's going on. So like Tone Loc is basically just on the ride with it and stuff like that. And they take him like all the way to Thailand and stuff like that, where they got to fight Leslie Nielsen and his army. And then like Leslie Nielsen got like crushed by a elephant. So like half of him is like mechanical and he can't get wet and stuff. It's just, bro, it is hilarious. But it was a great film back then. If you want to check it out, you can. But I'm not saying like you have to see it. But it was a good film.
Everyone in the chat is like, Khleo, you got to watch this film. And I'm catching major Johnny Tsunami vibes.
Way before him, bro. I'm telling you. I enjoy it. I watch it now. Like if you put it on right now, I'll sit here and watch Surf Ninjas.
Yo, you brought up the Sega Game Gear. Now let me tell you about this. I never had one. Kadeem, we never had a Sega Game Gear, ever.
Nope.
But what I recall about this console was how big it was. One, it was way bigger than a Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
The screen was dead center in the middle, right? And you had the D-pad on the left, obviously, and you had your buttons on the right. But what I recall the most being the stupidest thing about this design, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you have to put batteries on both sides of the console?
I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Game Gear batteries. Did they go right behind it, or were they on?
I thought it was under.
Let me see. Someone said yeah. So hold on.
It might be like that. That one, like like that's the Game Gear right there. That was I loved it because it had Sonic.
Yeah, see, I wasn't tripping. That's for sure what it was. Yeah. I didn't understand that. That was the.
Listen, it was to travel with, bro. Again, you got to remember, man. You had Nintendo. Some folks had Sega. Like as much as y'all like Pat loves Mario. Mario is what this dude grew up on. And that's probably what one of the things that helped him get in the game. And just like most gamers, it was Sonic. Sonic is what really turned me into a gamer. And so it's like to have a portable game system where I could play Sonic, Contra, portable, like especially as a kid, like bro, like you have no idea what it's like going climb a tree and then just sitting in there playing Game Gear.
Yeah, shout out to everyone that knows in this chat that it used 6 AA batteries and it died really fast. So it was a battery eater.
I remember. Yeah. We had a cousin who had one. And again, the reason I bring up the whole batteries being separated part was because you had to take off. Of course, they had a cover. And we're kids. So once you take that cover off and you lose one, now the rest of the time you're trying to make sure the batteries don't fall out.
Hilarious, bro.
Squeezing the shit out of one of the sides, getting the radiation in your damn fingertips.
Listen, I wouldn't even worry about no radiation. I can't tell you how pissed off I was when you were fighting Dr. Robotnik and one of them batteries slipped out and the game cut off.
Dog.
And you ready to chunk that motherfucker?
Dog.
So, and then look, this is how innovative those motherfuckers were. To even bypass that, once you lost the back, they was like, fuck it, go get some duct tape. Duct tape that hoe to the back. Batteries be sticking on the duct tape when you pull it out. Like all 4 of them come out. And then
everyone
you put a new pack in and then just
they talking about it in the chat, bro. People used to tape up the back of their game.
Yeah, bro. Like if you was a gamer, the thing was, bro, like, especially for me growing up in the country and like, you know, like growing up with minimal money and stuff like that. I don't want to call us poor, but you know, whatever. But
look at this shit. Look at the design of this thing.
That shit was dope, bro. That shit was dope. And you gotta remember, I got giant hands, and I had these since I was.
So it's just crazy. Like Sega, like okay, Nintendo, they launched the Game Boy. They came with a freaking slew of different video games, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't in color either. You gotta remember, like for a while, this was the only thing portable in color. That's what made this last a little bit. So the thing is, it really was just Sega was one of, and I hate to say this about Sega, but I really am gonna have to say it. Sega was great as a filler for Nintendo. Like if Nintendo is Marvel Cinematic Universe, Sega was Ant-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Dope films, but it's not the ones that are supposed to bring in and break the box office.
Big facts.
When that's taking a break, Sega was here serving, helping people, getting people into gaming, and then when Nintendo was ready, it came back out with a vengeance. And at one point, just like Guardians of the Galaxy, just like Ant-Man, that third rendition, second one, Sega Saturn, was okay. Nobody really got it or understood it, but it had some replay value. Ant-Man 2, just saying. When the third version came out, Dreamcast, it was like, okay, time to wrap this up. Iron Man 3, not judging, just throwing those out there. And so that's what Sega was. And then Nintendo continued to pave the way, and then it was time for the new evolution, which was PlayStation and Xbox.
Sega, you guys always seem to have a great plan, but your execution was just god-awful.
I'm just going to go ahead and put this on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen real quick, and then you tell me, you're going to tell me what we're doing with this right here.
I remember they had
You stop that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
What is this, Sega? What were you thinking?
What are we doing?
TV? A TV?
What are we doing?
A TV that ran off of batteries. Get out of here with this RT. What is the name of that antenna? We used to have it on the back of our TVs, bro.
What do you mean? The little coax? The little coax antenna? That's an antenna.
Coax antenna. Yo, bro.
Listen, it ain't about what it looked like, okay?
Yes, it is.
You can't tell me, again, you cannot tell me you would have not enjoyed being outside with your friends, eating your snacks with Cheeto fingers and Dorito fingers, and you get to watch 15 minutes of Rugrats. That's all you had. Because if you watch any more, that thing was down.
Dog, that thing never worked. Ever. And that antenna was a piece of crap because I remember our cousin had it and it broke on him like in the first 2 days of him having it.
See, that's because you LA cats so aggressive. You need to slow down. Y'all got buildings everywhere and stuff like that. You remember where I'm from. Ain't no tall buildings, man. We ain't got nothing to stop.
We've all learned on Black Blasphemy, your Texas card doesn't save you from everything, Will.
First of all, I am an adult.
It's slipping out of your hands pretty quick. That card's slipping pretty quick.
No, it ain't. My card is like a fun night. Just keeps going in and out. In and out.
Can you pull up the battery pack, Kadeem, that supposedly Sega was selling? Do you see it?
I can find it.
My! Look, had it not been for Sega, we wouldn't have the stuff we have right now.
You're not wrong.
Come on, man. Look, nobody had a Sega channel.
Dreamcast was one of the first consoles that really tried to bring internet to your console. If you look on the back of the Dreamcast, there's an Ethernet port on there. Is it Ethernet or dial-up, Kadeem?
It's Ethernet.
I think it was probably I think maybe it's still been dial-up. No, it was probably broadband at that time already. Dreamcast. Yeah.
So Dreamcast was trying to be the first one to gateway us into being able to hop online, play against different people around the world. Even before that, I'm pretty sure it was the Super Nintendo. No, it was the N64 that had the N64 Super Drive that only released over there in Japan. And
they kind of scrapped that idea.
Huh?
They scrapped that idea, but yeah.
Yeah, there was you would buy this thing and you would sit your N64 on top of this big ass attachment, and you were able to they had like a drawing game. They wanted for you to be able to do downloadable content as well for the Super Mario 64 game. Nintendo tried to do it early, and they were like, this ain't gonna work. We're just gonna scrap this idea. Dreamcast tried to go full speed ahead, and it still didn't work. We weren't ready.
Somebody has to do it, and someone has to fail first. That's what they won't teach you in school. Somebody has to fail first. No one succeeds first. Someone fails first. Then you figure out how to do what they didn't do, and then you win.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If you're in second the entire time of a race, you are figuring out what this person is doing wrong. And once you've passed him up, you figured out what he did wrong, and now you're in first.
I get that. I get what
it must fail first, and Sega failed first. Had it not been for them, they wouldn't have got mad and went to Sony and then made PlayStations, and then God of War would have never existed. Xbox, WWE, America.
Listen, I get all that, bro, but I can't ever co-sign the Sega Game Gear. I can't do it.
Khleo, I say this with the utmost respect. We don't need you to. If you had it, you knew what it was. We're not sitting here saying we're going to compete with Game Boy. We are not. But
I'll tell you where Game Boy went left, though. I'll tell you where Game Boy went left when they got a little too big for their britches. The Game Boy camera and the Game Boy printer.
Oh, no, I remember the Game Boy printer. Listen.
Bruh, what were they thinking?
That shit was hilarious. My homeboy had one.
Game Boy camera, and then you could connect the printer to it that was about this small, and you print out your little wannabe Polaroid pictures. Yep. Get that shit out of here.
That homeboy had that. We did that, and we realized how stupid we looked printing that shit out. We was like, stupid. You did it once, but you had to have it because that was the thing that was out. Look, Game Gear had a great hot girl summer for a few summers. Nobody's comparing it with Game Boy or anything like that. But when it was here, you enjoyed it. And if you missed a wave, that's cool.
So there's also the Sega Nomad that happened. That's also what happened.
Oh my God!
I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is.
That is the Sega Genesis Nomad.
No, time. This is an actual console that Sega released?
Yeah, this is a portable Sega Genesis Nomad. Obviously, it's a portable Sega Genesis. You know what I mean? It looks horrible to hold in your hand. Like, look at this. Look at the design of it. Like, how can you hold that and play?
No, but you're not answering my question though. This is an actual product that Sega released, and it was the sequel to the Game Gear.
Yep. They tried. Will is absolutely right. They tried. They tried everything. They walked so everything else could run.
I never knew about this until today, ladies and gentlemen. I had no clue that Sega released a sequel to the Sega Game Gear called the Sega Nomad. What is this? It's huge.
Hey, man, listen, okay? Somebody got to crawl before y'all can walk.
Oh, my
And I'm just going to be that guy, and I'm going to say it. The Nomad was lit.
Okay. All right. That's it. Just sign up for Sega. Admit it. You're a micro influencer. You're an influencer for Sega. Tell us.
When did I not say that?
No, but you're being paid by Sega. You officially have to be getting a check from Sega.
Oh, Sega can send me a check any day. Listen, I still got my original set. Okay, Pat. What are you?
Okay.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
What's up, y'all?
Is that a training, bro?
Why do you have your sister's blouse on? What are you doing?
It's a tank top and a posture.
No,
corrector.
it's not.
It's a posture corrector. What are you talking about?
No, it's not. Pat, what are you doing?
What are you doing with your bad posture? I'm on Zoom like 7 times a day. I need this to keep my back from turning into an S. So here
that's not part of the shirt.
No.
Oh, because you couldn't see like the skin area. So
it's a tank top with a little posture corrector.
Oh,
so I can do my zooms and my screams.
If you look at it, it looked like the black parts were attached to the shirt.
No, it's like a Will Smith holster. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, see when you move
the thing on the back.
Yeah, the tank was normal when you took it off.
Yeah,
like a backpack with no pack.
I was like, whoa.
That's cool. Everybody on the squad is about to buy one. Watch.
Oh, no, that's dope.
I have one. I just haven't tried it yet. I do have one. But I do a lot of Zoom meetings at this time of my life as well, obviously. So I feel you, bro.
And I don't have that posture. My building is uneven.
What?
Yeah.
My building is uneven. I found that out. Our building is slanted.
It ain't got shit to do with your posture.
Yes, it do. It fits me this way.
What? Just sit up straight.
Pat, we're so glad that you are joining this conversation, brother, because we're talking about retro consoles. Yes, we started off talking about the Sega Game Gear. Do you remember the Sega Game Gear?
Is that the handheld one?
That was the handheld one.
Hell no, I don't miss that. I've never had one.
But okay, neither did I. But we talked about its terrible design with the fact that the batteries would go in the back of it and they were separated. You had to put 3 batteries on the left and 3 batteries on the right. And
what? Why?
Exactly. Stupid design flaw. And if you ever misplace one of the covers, you have to then duct tape it or keep your fingers pressed up against the back of it to continue playing the game. And it died really, really quick. Did you also know that Sega Game Gear had a TV turner?
No, what?
You could watch TV from your Sega Game Gear.
Look at it.
That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Why are y'all acting like this is not fire? I don't understand.
Okay, let me just put my where I am out there. I'm not a fan of portable games, to be honest. Like I had the original Game Boy, I had the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance. Around the time it started going to the DS, that's when I started getting over it. And then the Game Boy Advance is the one that's sort of like a sidekick, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think I had anything past the DS. I didn't have a PSP. I stopped playing I used to always play Pokemon in the car. I started getting car sick. So if I was going to play video games, I wanted to do a console. So I kind of fell off the whole handheld thing until the Switch. So this isn't really my thing anyways.
Cool.
However, I was also Game Boy and on, which looked good. I always loved the design of the Game Boy. This would not fly. This looks like the equivalent of a Walkman to the iPod.
Okay, so let me hit you with 2 more facts really quick. Game Boy. Do you remember the Game Boy camera?
Yeah, that was cool.
Do you remember the Game Boy printer?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you could print out those shitty pictures. Cool.
Yeah.
Did you know that there was a sequel to the Sega Game Gear?
I didn't know. Is that it right there in the Sonic?
That is the Sega Nomad, Pat.
The what?
That is the Sega Nomad, a portable Sega Genesis. I thought it was a made-up console. Nope, turns out Sega actually did release this.
Wait, hey, let me go to gallery view and take a look at this.
That is it.
And it stuck out like that?
That is, you plug in your little Genesis little cart. So technically it's a portable Genesis.
That's a laptop. That's a Sega.
Really acting like that's not fire.
That shit is ass.
I mean, it was not a great design for your hands.
All right, you 2-parent households. For y'all,
bro, it had nothing to do with money. This was just before us.
Can we see it in hand? Is there any video or picture of this console in someone's hand?
I can get one in hand, sure. Let me get that.
It's not as big as y'all think. It was like, don't get me wrong. It was big, but it was like. It wasn't that big. No, it wasn't that. Like,
the Game Gear was like this big.
It was like, oh snap, supersonic. Actually,
yo, no, for real, it was about DS size. It was about DS size.
Oh,
no. Hey, what's the second thing you had?
Keeper going up to your face like this every time you want to play. Come on,
Pat. What's the second thing you picked up?
It was a tray. I was getting.
Hey, low key, that was the size of the Nomad, though. Low key.
Really?
I think that was the size of the Nomad. The second one, that was.
I'm about to pull it up right now. We can see it in hand.
KP Balance artistry.
Sega Nomad looks like in hand.
Man, again, as I said before you got on here, Pat, someone had to fail first for everybody else to advance. And that was
Game Boy, when you put the game in, it perfectly lined up with the Game Boy. It's crazy that this is sticking out like a 64.
I did not understand it. I was just like, why?
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
Did the Genesis have 6 buttons?
No.
There was there was I was talking about this on my Twitch. Why was there remote controllers with just 3 buttons, and why was there controllers with 6 buttons?
That's a lot smaller than I thought.
I think it had to do with Street Fighter.
All right, so I'm not mad at that. That's about this.
That's not that big.
That's without one of the sides of the Switch.
Where are the cords going?
To charge it.
Into the TV. No, it's into the TV.
They have an AV out. They have an AV out, and it's charging it as well. It's both of them.
Yes, it was like a Switch before a Switch.
It was.
No, don't say that. Hell no. This shit look like what you gotta defuse in Counter-Strike. This shit look like a bomb.
Well, that's gonna help you defuse the bomb. Like, stick it in the C4, and then we're gonna get this.
That shit was a Call of Duty UAV before the game dropped, bro.
Will was in Texas defusing a Genesis. This nigga saved Texas every morning.
Oh my God.
If this bitch hits restart, we're all doomed.
Oh man.
Oh man.
How many batteries went in it? Do we know?
I don't know. I can look. Oh man.
Man, I'm not gonna look. Listen. Sega is what it was. It was here. It did its thing, and it paved the way for everybody else, except Nintendo.
It looks.
Did it pave the way for what? PlayStation? You think?
Yeah, because here's the thing: like everything that they tried, they did too soon. Like we were talking about before you got here. Like with Sega Saturn. I know you don't remember Sega Saturn, Dreamcast. They had already started doing a lot of the things that we're using now on our PlayStation and Xbox. It was just computers weren't that much of a thing in a household, but consoles were more bigger in a household than a computer was. And so they were really trying to get us into like the computer wave. It just wasn't time. And so they failed. But then here came PlayStation.
Yeah, 6 batteries.
6 batteries.
6 batteries. 6 double A batteries. Yep.
That's wild. It's crazy that after the Genesis and Super Nintendo, it seems like the whole 2D side scroller was completely abandoned. PlayStation didn't do it. 64 didn't do it. Like it was like there were traditionalist games that would come out afterwards, like the new Mega Mans and stuff. But it seemed like that style kind of died.
Yeah, they stopped doing it for even Mega Man. Like X7, Mega Man X7 is 3D now. But they stopped too. So I mean, everyone just got away from the whole 2D side-scrolling thing, which sucks. But
it costs more money to develop.
I don't think so. I don't know. I think everyone's just looking for that same look. I don't know.
I don't really see any traces of Genesis on the PlayStation. I feel like PlayStation came through like Nintendo with all new shit.
Well, no, like CDs, like the controllers and stuff like that. They took a lot from Sega.
Kadeem, can you please pull up the Sega
CDs
Mega Jet? I gotta read this breakdown for you guys. I never knew about this. In Japan, Sega released the Mega Jet, a portable version of the Mega Drive for use on Japan Airlines flights. The Mega Jet requires a connection to a television screen and a power source, and can only be used in cars equipped with a television set inside of a cigarette lighter receptacle. So they put a whole console in a cigarette lighter.
And it looks like this.
In a cigarette lighter?
You could power that in a cigarette lighter.
I don't get that. I don't
so you would put the console, so that's the thing that reads the video game. You'd put that into the cigarette lighter, and then if you had a television around you somewhere on your hood of your car, you'd connect it to that, and that was your new Sega.
But this was only for in a car?
Only in it says it could be powered through the car, but then they put it on Japan Airlines.
Yeah, it was supposed to be just like if you wanted to connect it to like portable screens, because they were starting to have portable screens that you could carry with you. This was one of the things because it was very easy to transfer this to televisions. Like I said, that's why they came out with Sega Channel to be able to use through cable, because you had to have cable in order to get Sega Channel.
I mean, shout out to Sega for trying shit. Here's the thing. for the time, and same thing with the Gamecast. What's the shit called that we were just looking at?
Game Gear.
The Game Gear. Same thing with that. Like at the time, I could see it being dope because you don't have like obviously we're comparing this to like newer shit or shit that we started with, but it's like at the time that was probably like the dopest shit to be able to play that shit on an airplane. Like Khleo just brought up the Game Boy camera and the printer. Nigga, that shit was trash. But at the time, it was the hardest shit out. Like, I'm looking back at it, man, the photos was trash. The interface was bad. I didn't really get it. By the time I got a printer, I was over it. Like,
and it took you like all day to figure out how to print. And then when it finally did, it was just, oh, this is some bullshit.
The most terrible version of a Polaroid you were ever going to get.
Yeah.
Trash-ass Polaroid, bro.
See, man, Sega was one of those. You know what the thing was, too? Like, when I think like Super Nintendo was out, Super Nintendo was easy to hook up, too. It was just like cartridge, cut it on, play. Sega was more kind of like on the technical side, like things like Kadeem kind of deals with, just like from looking at the Nomad and stuff like that. So you kind of had to have a little sense of how to connect wires and stuff to the back of your TV. Because I remember like, yo, I ain't saying it was just me, but a lot of folks had problems with the red, yellow, and white hookup. Just saying.
Yeah. I loved it.
How about, so you bring that up, Kadeem, what was the thing that we had to go back to the store and get? Is an RFU adapter? I don't know if he's still there. He's probably still there. Does anyone remember when
my bad, I'm here.
Does anyone remember when your TV did not have the red, yellow, and white cable and you had to do the silver screw into the back?
Yeah, the cable. That's what we called it, the cable.
Nintendo 64 had to release the RFU adapters. We had to go back to the store, and you know, if you get your game console on Christmas, right? You know that you're not going to the store that day, and then most likely you're not going back to the store the next day. Yeah. So we had to wait 2 more days to then go back to the store to go buy an RFU adapter to then play on Nintendo 64.
Because why would parents know about that shit?
Exactly. RF Switch, thank you. Shout out to everyone in the cut. You guys remember. Look, everyone, yes, bro. Yeah. You're not alone in that struggle. You guys are not alone.
I always had the RCA on deck. I never had to switch it up.
I didn't have that struggle because I didn't get a 64, unfortunately. So
no, all of them were like that.
A lot of them were. And then you had to go channel 3 or channel 4.
PlayStation, Dreamcast, those were all. Everything was RCA up until what? When did they switch to HDMI?
No, I had that. No, I'm saying I always had that. Like it was the 3, the red, yellow, and white ones. That was the ones we didn't have.
That's what I'm saying. Everything had that.
Oh yeah, no. Like the one, when I had PlayStation, I had already had like the screw-in thing. Like I didn't have to get an adapter. I already had that on my television.
The only adjustments I really had to make for my console was to make the Japanese games, and that, in retrospect, like now you would have to just download an add-on or something digital, but you really had to physically open your PlayStation, put the spring in the little like side, then you had to go to the back and put the little adapter in, and then you got to play like foreign Dragon Ball Z games. Like that was actually a fun experience.
Oh yeah,
Loki, we should have a show that's centered on video game tech, because I love video game tech, and there's so much shit that came out that I missed. Like the fact that Rob from Smash Bros, I always knew he was like a physical toy and like it's something that you could sell, but I didn't really get what he did. Like, did he hold games or put the game in the controller?
No,
like what the hell was he?
Those gyroscope things. So you would pretty much be able to press a button and control them, technically speaking, with and he would move. He would pretty much help you out in the game. If you picked up something, it would actually pick up the path in the game for you to keep walking.
He was like an early Amobi?
Yeah, and the thing about it is that he pretty much is the only way Nintendo was allowed back into people's homes because of the whole Atari thing. Like they used Rob as like the way to get back into people like Americans' homes because of what happened with Atari and E.T., how bad that was.
All right, well hold that because this needs to be a show.
Gotcha.
And I want the first episode to be about Rob.
Gotcha.
I just want to dig into old ass video game tech.
What other shows we brought up too?
The year ones.
Year versus year, because we was talking about today is the 25th anniversary of Daytona USA on Sega Saturn, and Skate 3 is 10 years old today as well. Yep. So we were talking about all the stuff that came out in like 1995 and just like how dope 1995 was, but like how everybody was always like, no, 97 was the best year. We need to battle. Pick your year and battle.
Just with gaming, right?
You can do gaming, anything. Like you can break it down into everything. Like you can do one
movies,
music. Like
super dope.
Let's look at the year of 1995 really quick in movies, Pat. Toy Story, Jumanji, Bad Boys, Money Train, a Goofy movie, The Indian in the Cupboard, Heavyweights.
I don't know what that is.
Rumble in the Bronx, Casper.
Good movie.
I didn't like how they fucked Jackie Chan up in Rumble in the Bronx. That scene always got to me because I was
with the beer bottles.
Oh my god, they fucked him up. I didn't like that scene at all because Jackie Chan was just like, yeah, I'm fighting people. That was the first time we were just like, yo.
Yeah. He's like, please, no, I will not try.
Dog that nigga.
Like, oh,
no, that's dope. I like that. I always wanted to do a gaming show that was like kind of historical like that, but it's like every new iteration of a series comes out, you go back and play the very first one. So like if Breath of the Wild 2 came out, we would play that for the first half and then play literally the first Zelda or Call of Duty. We play the first like World War I and like see how far they've come.
Yeah.
That's the whole show itself. Yeah.
I have them all cataloged, Pat, so whenever. I got everything cataloged.
That'd be lit.
Yeah. So anyway, are we gonna get into at least one game, or how y'all want to do this?
Let's do one game.
So one game to define us. I guess go ahead and y'all choose which game y'all want to do.
What games did y'all do so far?
We haven't done any.
We
just chatting.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're just talking about like the On This Day. I thought that was a dope new segment to kind of introduce here. Talk about wrestling and then just some other things. So we were waiting on you to do the games at the time.
Hey, thanks. Hey, can we start doing a game on Mondays just at 3? Just because Squadcast usually goes over.
Yeah.
That's fun. All right.
I had 3 p.m.
I'm gonna go first, man. Can I go first? I'm really excited about mine.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, guys. Games that define us. These are, of course, we went really deep in our roster, actually. I had to dig really deep to find this one. Ladies and gentlemen, we were just talking about him. Jackie Chan Stunt Master.
Ooh, good one.
I had to bring this one back. Jackie Chan Stunt Master was a really, really cool game in which you would be able to fight guys with broomsticks and trash can bins and flip off of an 18-wheeler that was chasing you down an alleyway. It was really, you felt like you were in an action movie. And of course, your starring was Jackie Chan.
Yep.
You had to collect, I think, what did he collect? I want to say like golden dragons, but maybe that's too on the nose. But look at Jackie. Look at the graphics, first of all. Look at the graphics. Well, and there was this comedy level to the game. That's what was always fun about Jackie, like Pat was mentioning. He was always like happy. There was a moment of just laughter with Jackie Chan at all times.
Oh, this looks bad.
Yeah.
They went hella cartoony.
What I loved about it, if you messed up, it showed you, like, if you messed up the stunt, it showed him crashing when it went. Yeah. I love that about this.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and skip a little bit forward to the gameplay so y'all can kind of see how this played.
Kicks.
Oh man.
Barrel open. Get inside. You got to fight the ninjas. Boom. Kick.
Oh, so good.
Boom. Boom.
I missed this game.
Bro, this looked like a beat 'em up. This looked like a classic beat 'em up.
It was a Jackie Chan beat 'em up, man.
It was, man.
And I loved if you wanted to like evade certain attacks, you could run up the wall and backflip over the character of the enemies. It was really dope, man.
I love that Milk was what like revived him.
Man, this was a great game. I wonder why this wasn't a series though.
I mean, shout out to Midway again. Shout out to Midway again for bringing this up. Midway,
man. We were talking about it.
These would be the parts right here. Like if you didn't hit the button in time, like that would happen.
Jackie, I love it, bro. Someone just brought up the fact Jet Li had a video game, and I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
I don't remember that.
He had a PS2 video game.
Yep.
What was it?
Something Honor. Let me look.
Oh my gosh, man! I remember I rented this from Blockbuster.
Rise of Honor.
I saw this and I was like, yes, we actually rented this, and I think Rumble in the Bronx again. And I was like, well, I'm about to go do this on my PlayStation.
You know how hard? I mean, we downplay it kind of a little bit, but yo, that's dope.
I don't downplay this.
To have your own video game is dope. Period.
Oh, yeah.
It's good though. A lot of niggas try to have video games and it's trash.
Give me an example.
Fun.
Give me one trash example of someone who tried a video game. It was just it wasn't worth it.
Shaq
Fu.
Oh man.
Always with the Shaq Fu.
Always with the Shaq.
No.
All
right, no.
Liking 50 Cent's game either.
50 Cent game was good. Bulletproof was good.
No. The one on where he's in sand on the front.
Blood in the Sand or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played that one.
It was.
Another that was trash. Michael Jordan's game.
Oh, that Windy City.
Windy City game.
Windy City is ass.
Windy City's not great.
It was garbage truck juice. That shit is ridiculous.
Hey, did y'all play that kung fu game where you were like a tiger? You were like a Shaolin tiger.
Tai Fu.
Tai Fu.
Tai Fu.
Yep.
And
Was Wu-Tang connected to that?
I don't think so. I think DreamWorks was, shockingly enough. I think DreamWorks.
They never brought that character back. That character was dope.
It was.
I might do that with the.
Remember this game?
Tai Fu Wrath of the Tiger. I think it's what it was called, bro. Good game.
Yeah, it was a really good game.
Yeah, bro. I love that game.
Wow. Nah, Pat just brought back the heavy hitter with that one.
I don't know why I always thought Wu-Tang was considered. Is there like a Wu-Tang looking symbol in the title or something? I always thought Wu-Tang was considered.
I think they made the music, didn't they? I think
They had a lot of hip hop, like the hip hop soundtrack for sure. There was a hip hop soundtrack for sure on that game.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's my pick, guys. Jackie Chan, stunt master. We knew Jackie for doing his own stunts in his films, for him to have a video game where he had to defeat ninjas, I don't know what the actual end goal was. I don't even remember who the final boss was, but this is definitely worthy of a second playthrough, even though the graphics are comedically hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I like them.
I like it too.
They look like siphon filter. Those trash ass faces.
Yes. That was a lot of time this came out though. I didn't beat this game unfortunately because I only had it for 3 days, and so I didn't get that far because it was a rental. But for the 3 days I had it, I thoroughly enjoyed it and would not mind doing a playback.
Yes, sir. Hey, shout out to Zarius Johnson. Appreciate it. He's shouting out one series that defined him was the SmackDown versus Raw series starting in 2006. I definitely liked the early wrestling games, and I mean early for me, like PlayStation 1, like SmackDown. I thought it originally just said SmackDown. I think I played SmackDown versus Raw, but I was really playing video games when wrestling was out with like SmackDown, Beg for Mercy, WrestleMania, like those first PlayStation N64 ones for sure.
Yeah. That's what most people were. I remember I was playing them in like Super Nintendo and stuff too. So I remember they had, I think it was like Royal Rumble, and they had IRS. It was this dude that was like buttoned up with the white button up glasses. It was like an IRS, like
Bray Wyatt's daddy.
Oh yeah, Bray Wyatt's daddy. Pat, you remember that dude we showed you with the crazy ass mask and the blonde dreads?
He had like a special effects mask, right?
Yeah. The dude I'm talking about. That's his father. He wrestled. He had this crazy ass clothesline as his finisher, and they had it in the game that was unbeatable. Like if you got hit with it, automatic defeat.
That's such a dumb character, IRS.
It was horrible. It was actually based off his name. Like that was his real name, I believe.
That was his initials?
Yeah.
Initials, I believe.
And so they went off of the whole thing with that. So is it cool if I go for my choice?
Go for it.
I'm getting straight into it. I don't care if you don't know it. If you know it, it is a dope game. It's very simple. Don't got a lot of like twists and turns to it, but it got twists and turns to it, if you know what I'm saying. My pick is Driver on PlayStation. Driver was my shit. I love this game. Literally, you are a wheelman, a professional wheelman. Your mission is it's like Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit, with a little bit of Grand Theft Auto mixed into it, and your job is to drive around. You are the wheelman. You got to get away. You got to require to get through some stunts, everything. You just blazing through the city. Now, would I recommend us to play this on here? Not really. But this is one of the games that define me because it really, I always love cars, always love driving. So to be able to have a game where you're just a straight wheelman, and especially being a fan of the Italian job, this was one of the games I was just like, yes, let's get it. Time trials, unlocking different type of cars. This was me.
So is this open world? Is he racing? Like what's happening right now?
It's open world. So you're basically given a mission. So it was like one of the first open world, but it was like a city. And you literally had to get away. So you couldn't get all the way up to your if you got your damage all the way up, your car would stall. It was basically like having 5 stars in GTA. That's basically.
That's what I was gonna say. Is it like an early GTA where you have to just evade the cops all the time?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
How big was the city? How big was the open world?
It was pretty big. Like it had a very massive map. When they came out with 2 and 3, you had different areas. So I think you go like San Francisco. I think he was like in Tokyo too and some other stuff and everything. But I think at Driver it was just like one stage, but it was like a massive city.
Could you get out?
No,
you stayed in the car.
All in the car.
Just the car, yeah. That was it.
I remember when Driver 2 was coming out, I was like, dog, they went so hard on the marketing for this game. It was every freaking where. I remember seeing billboards in LA, crazy, heavy WWE commercials as well, being sponsored some of the pay-per-views. I don't think I ever played it, though. I think I never got a chance to play Driver.
I'll tell you what, they pushed this shit out of this game in the little demos. Like those little demo CDs that came in magazines and all that shit. So I remember playing Driver, and I don't know if I played Driver 2. I remember the art more than the first one, but I for sure played Driver. I might have played Driver 2. And I just, to be honest, I don't think the demo got me enough to want to play the full game. It kind of had like a twisted metal. It was almost like we weren't ready for it until Grand Theft Auto, but it was like one of those like building blocks that led up to it. So yeah, I never really got into it.
Little fun fact about Driver 3 is that there was a huge controversy with the review process for it. The review it came out allegedly that the company paid the reviewers to give it a good rating on IGN and all that stuff back in the day for Driver 3. Not these two, the third one.
So video game had payola too?
Oh, payola? Did they get caught? How'd they get caught?
I forgot how it came out. I watched a
Somebody snitched?
I watched there was someone on YouTube that did a whole story about it. So I mean, it happened. It's pretty much, official that did happen.
Someone hacked Franklin IGN's emails.
Yeah.
Got all that shit. That's dumb as fuck. Yeah. But it's the crazy thing about that is like, duh, nigga, like you don't think Call of Duty and all these people are paying reviewers? Like,
right.
That's happening all across the board. Rotten Tomatoes, all that shit.
But you know that now though. Like back then, like
they just got the early snub.
No, but think about like reviews. Like you only had a few sources for reviews. Like back then, when this was out, like movies was Ebert and Roper. That's who told you reviews on movies.
Right.
Here it was like I forgot. It was like a website. It was like Game Something. That's where you learned about the reviews for these games. So it wasn't a lot of sources that were telling you these things. So the ones that were, if you were paying them off, and again, people didn't know these things, and that was happening. So that's why it became a big deal around this time. It was kind of like the same thing with wrestling when people started finding out that some parts of it is staged. They like, what? But for most people, they just like, yeah.
You think there's still people finding out
about that? Yeah.
Really?
If you still say wrestling is fake, then you don't know about wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, there's plagiarism. I mean, the last thing that I've kind of seen with controversy about reviews was plagiarism. That's pretty much it that I've seen the last couple years that kind of made it a big deal. There's a lot of plagiarism going on. People review the game, and then someone from IGN use the same exact words, everything, and put up their video as well. So
literally they just so what they did was they wrote their own review, sent it out to all the networks. They sent them the direct deposit and was like, hey bro, paste this on the page.
Yep. It'd just be a few little things that switched around.
Yep.
But the one thing I'll say about Driver that Pat brought up, and I think that they kind of messed up on, was it was a great concept, but the thing was the first one didn't really grab you like that. And so like even like how he said, like if the demo didn't grab you when you got the game was cool, but it was kind of redundant. And so it was like, okay. And so when Driver 2 came, they fixed that with a lot of stuff and different missions. But by that time, if you didn't want to just had been moved by the first one just a little bit to kind of check it out, people were already kind of done with it. And then they did try to do the same thing.
I could see why Grand Theft Auto killed them off, because it's like it wasn't a lot of details to the city, but like now I'm realizing, now that I don't have that option, just how important getting out was. Like it's almost like the car part was cool, but it was almost like one of the least interesting parts of Grand Theft Auto, because Grand Theft Auto got big with the shooting and the carjacking and like a lot of things that required you to be outside of the car.
Right.
Obviously the 3-star system, it seems like they have their own version of that, which is like a felony bar, which is pretty funny. Very vague though too. Like what happened? Like there's not like a very.
Well, the thing is, it was kind of like but that was the thing. It went down as like so. Like normally, how stars will drop if like the helicopter doesn't see you, cops will start to lose sight of you. That's what it was doing. So like if you were starting to evade the cops, your felony bar would start dropping. Right. But two, also if you were hitting things like the poles and stuff like that, and those things were falling down, your felony would go back up because of course you're leaving the trail for the cops.
So safe to say, if it was 6ix9ine cheat code, the felony bar would never go up?
Probably not. Probably not. And everything would be in rainbows.
They gonna be putting snitching in Grand Theft Auto to lower your wanted. That'd be crazy.
Right. Snitch Lane, Rat Boulevard, you're impervious there. No damage.
Shout out to Ryan Keels out here complimenting Black Blasphemy. Thank you. Appreciate it. We look forward to expanding it for you guys.
I'm doing it again. I'm about to go there.
All right, cool. Any last thoughts on Driver?
Great game. Great marketing.
Yeah. Once again, just like I was talking about with Sega, one of those games I think helped define us because it helped pave the way for other great games and stuff like that, like Grand Theft Auto. Seeing something new, saying, "Oh, that's cool. Let's add this to what we're doing." And so, in my eyes, I know somebody who ever made the game might get a little offended. I feel like Driver lives on a little bit every time you're playing Grand Theft Auto.
Seeing the footage, it does look like a very necessary building block to get to Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. So that's dope.
All right, Pat, what you got?
Bring it on, Pat.
And last but not least, I got the cussing, slanging, womanizing 64 game that helped popularize first-person shooters, Duke Nukem 64.
Let's go. Let's go, Pat. Hail to the king.
You got it.
If you were but a young lad like me, you know why this was important, okay? Even if I was like an older teenager or, in college, I would still enjoy this game. But being a little kid and getting access to this game was everything, because not only did it put – here's the thing. My dad told me this once, and I never realized how important this was. When my dad would get me shooting games – it was very important that I wasn't shooting other people. You know what I mean? Like, It was always like, he always made sure it was like aliens or monsters or something like that. And I didn't realize the psychology of that until I was an older, and I started saying like, oh shit, Ninja Turtles also switched all of their enemies to robots and stuff so that they can slice without using blood and all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of psychological things that go into marketing to kids. Right. So they did it in such a genius way because you weren't shooting other people, but you were still getting the references. Like all the cops were big ass pigs. You know what I mean? It was at a time where like first person shooters weren't popping like that. So we're used to this whole other style. Like, this ties into what I said earlier about a lot of video games being side scroller 2Ds and them abandoning that and trying other things. Now, I'm not, I'm positive this isn't the first person shooter, but the reason why this got so popular is because that style was like just emerging as like, dope as opposed to like the early video game styles. Mm-hmm. So it was like, it was just not only a mix of like just how you play, but it was just like the raunchiness, man. When you were a little boy, like the fact that there are hidden naked girls in every level that you have to find. And it's like, he was always cussing, and it was kind of like, it was pretty gory. Like he was, he was always talking about sticking his foot up somebody's ass. And it was just dope because like, it just came like right on time. And it's kind of like sailed under the radars of all parents, you know, like Mortal Kombat was an outrage. It was like, blood? Oh, I can't believe this. We need ratings on video games. But something like this, like, I don't remember a Duke Nukem outrage. I don't remember parents being like tripping at all, because it was just like, yeah, you're this Arnold Schwarzenegger ripoff, which a lot of 80s movies were sort of like using that, you know, that character type. So it was just like this Arnold Schwarzenegger action hero that just, you know, killed aliens. And that's as much as the parents knew about. But for us, man, we were getting like partial nudity, cussing, adult situations. I'm just saying that because that's what it'd be saying in the ratings. But this game was dope, man. And like the weapon choices, if you were melee, you were just kicking niggas in the chest. It was just dope. Like Duke Nukem was the shit.
Oh, yeah. I will say, go ahead. No,
I was just to talk about the weapons for a second. Of course, you had the handgun, right?
Yep.
You had the little Glock. Then you had the shotgun, which we see him using right now. Then you had the double Uzis, right? And then you had the pipe bomb launcher. And then you had the pipe bombs by themselves that you can detonate like that.
Yep.
The weapon artillery for Duke Nukem was crazy. Now, I don't think I ever got past the 4th level or 5th level of this game. I've never beat Duke Nukem. But seeing it makes me want to go back and try to beat it. And then, the music, the freaking state. The thing that bothered me the most about Duke Nukem was that if you got lost in the level, you were screwed.
Oh, man.
You had to restart the level and try everything again because you didn't know what to press. There was hidden switches. A light switch could have opened something behind you, but you had no clue. There's no map.
Very true. I think that's sort of like reminiscent of Doom. You know how like Doom just gave you an open area and you just had to wander around until you saw niggas? Like that was like, I remember even the first level, this level that they're in right now, no, I'm sorry, this might be the second one.
No, it's the city with the movie theater.
This is the first level.
Is the second or first?
First level.
Okay, it's either in the first or the second. Like this, the last part of the game is in this really back loading area with trucks and boxes, and it's like it's not linear. Like you have to do a whole, like you said, a whole bunch of other stuff and switches and going and backtracking. So it had almost like adventure elements within a shooter, because like something like Call of Duty, you just go forward and you just have to deal with shit. But it's like this game was almost just like a puzzle within a first-person shooter, and it's like the cultural references that they had were dope. Like the fact that the first level was at a movie theater that had posters everywhere, and you can like go up to where the projector is.
Yep.
It's like a lot of dope shit about this game, and when it got like difficult, there was still like cheats. Like this was in the era of like cheat codes and
with good old God mode.
Like, if it was God mode, yep.
Multiplayer was a really big part of this game for me as well. Being able to play with my friends, four controllers locked in. Everyone had a rocket launcher. Kenny, do you remember the football field map?
Oh, of course. That's the last level of the game. Like that's the last level. That's the final bosses.
Final boss.
Oh, so you guys might have beaten it.
No, I mean I have, but that's me.
I have not.
Yeah.
Because there was also a Duke Nukem on PlayStation that was different, right?
There's a few different, and the thing about this one that I want to bring up is there is no music in this game on the N64 one, which made it even scarier, honestly.
Yeah, there wasn't, huh? I mean, there was main menu music and finishing music.
That was it, though. But there's no music.
Wow.
So it is scary as hell to hear all these damn aliens everywhere. And that's what I most remember about this game.
Wait, that wasn't an option? That wasn't something that you toggled, though?
Not on the N64. Maybe on the PlayStation. I didn't play the PlayStation.
Oh, N64, like you just, when you started, you thinking it's playing, but it's not. Like Doom was kind of like that too, because that was like, a lot of people don't know that Duke Nukem was actually on PC before it came here to 64. And I'm gonna say honestly, I love it on PC way better because you can move. It moves a lot smoother, just like how Doom did, just like how Quake was. And so it was just like how Doom started moving over the consoles. So did Duke Nukem and stuff. So, but yeah, it didn't have any music, and it was one of the first ones. It was the first ones that was more pop culture reference, like you said, like the movie theaters, having the Duke Nukem in front and stuff like that. Because remember, you never really saw him. And stuff. So it was just like, Doom was dope. They wanted to figure out how to do first-person shooters, and they was like, let's make an Arnold Schwarzenegger, boobs, pop culture. They're gonna buy it, and of course we did.
Yep.
No, Will, I gotta know your cosign on this. John Cena to play Duke Nukem in the live-action movie?
Hell yeah.
I think so too.
Not no more, but hell yeah.
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day.
That would have been great.
Yeah. I still say John Cena should have played RoboCop.
How?
John Cena would have been a hard RoboCop.
How?
No, it's a lot of cursing. I don't know. I don't know if like John Cena's too clean.
They'd have been like,
So you don't remember him in Step Sisters? I got Molly, Japan, weed, codeine.
But he was charactery as hell. He had tattoos.
Wait, John Cena doesn't cuss?
That's for the kids. Like his WWE persona, the John Cena, you can do anything. Nah, they ain't pulling that card.
Man, RoboCop all day. I watch it. But you gonna do Duke Nukem? Wait a minute. You gonna do Duke Nukem?
He'd be dope for Duke Nukem though.
You gotta go back to ruthless aggression though.
Titties,
you gotta go back to ruthless aggression.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's super dope that you pointed out that there was no music. That's not really a typical video game movie.
It is, bro, and that's what scared me so much about this game when I was younger, because I was trying to play this game, but all I could hear was the damn aliens everywhere, bro.
Yeah. I remember one of the sounds. It was like, ooh,
yeah, that was the pig shit. That was that fucking pig, bro.
Like you'll hear the pig snorting, but don't know where you're coming from and stuff.
Right?
We played it on arcade tokens. We didn't really have a sound, so we couldn't hear anything. We just assumed there was music because, like, when it first started off, it's just like you go to stage.
Yeah,
and it's just like, oh shit, and so you think it's playing, but it's really not.
And just so you guys know, this is actually out on the PS4. Duke Nukem Megaton Edition is what it's called. So
is it this version?
It's this version.
Oh, I'm downloading it.
Just so
you're
you know.
kidding me.
PS4?
On the PS4?
PS4 Megaton Edition is what this is called.
That's done.
It's just update. It's updated.
Yeah.
Move easier, everything.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
So final thoughts. Fellas, on Duke Nukem.
Nigga, final thoughts is I'm about to play it again. That's fucking lit
right now.
Hey man, then that means we gotta run it on here on all the time, man.
This show is making me buy more games. I'm already halfway through Ape Escape 2.
Great game.
Oh yeah, I still gotta finish Ape Escape.
Man, that's lit. This show is gonna make our Twitches just that much better.
Facts. So question. So we have our 3. So now it's time for us to play, of course, play, download, and delete. So play, download, and delete. We have Driver. We have Khleo, what was the one you had?
Jackie Chan Stuntmaster.
Jackie Chan Stuntmaster and Duke Nukem.
All right, I'll go first.
All right, Pat, what you got?
I'm deleting Driver.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm deleting Driver. This is tough because I don't know what I would play. Obviously, I'm going to play Duke Nukem. That purchase is happening tonight. However, if I have the option of Jackie Chan, I don't know which one I would go after first because I remember how much fun Jackie Chan was. Yeah. So I'm going to go play Duke Nukem, download Jackie Chan's Adventure, delete Driver. Okay.
I'm going to go play Jackie Chan Adventure. I remember it was so much fun. I can continue playing that even now. Download Duke Nukem only because I know it was cool to not have maps to try to figure it out, man. But at some points I was like, yo, fuck this. Especially when you figured out it was this hole in the building that you can't really see, and you had to jump in there and go upstairs, and that took you to the next level. I was like, man, F y'all. I'm F Duke Nukem.
Facts.
And so, and I would delete Driver just because, we have Grand Theft Auto already and stuff like that. That was a stepping stone for them, but I think they would have figured that out anyway, just because that's originally technically what they were. Actually. So now that I think about it, I'm wrong for saying that. Grand Theft Auto was somewhat already doing that.
What?
And it was up top. It was a top view. And they were in, because first, the original Grand Theft Autos 1 and 2 were in London.
Right.
And so it was just up. And so you would be driving and stuff and trying to get away and everything like that. And so Driver just made it to where it was from a 3D view.
Okay.
I'm going to go with play Jackie Chan because I want to beat it. Download Duke Nukem, which I am currently doing. And then Driver, again, I never played it. It didn't really appeal to me. I just got to appreciate the marketing for it. I'm just like, the marketing's great. You guys are going so hammer time on this. It's like y'all making this like it's a movie. I'm pretty sure
on top of it than me.
I'm pretty sure the people who did the marketing for Transporter just looked at Duke Nukem. Just looked at the driver marketing. Was like, just do that. Simple. The Jason Statham film. Do what they did.
Low key.
Yeah.
I like the first one. It got a little ridiculous though.
Oh yeah. So
are we doing that time thing?
We are doing the time capsule. So as I've said, 1,000 years into the future, the ocean has swallowed us. The aqua people are here. Atlantis is real, and Aquaman is black, and I don't want to hear no questions about it.
I agree.
Find this time capsule. And the time capsule got our video games. This time, though, I'm changing it up. Consoles. What consoles are going into the time capsule?
It's a good one.
PS Vita. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out the top. I'm just gonna
why?
I'm putting mine in there.
Why?
Hey, see, all y'all don't know how amazing that console is. Y'all wouldn't understand unless you had one. The cross save, I beat Shovel Knight front to back because of that Vita. Okay?
You say that like that's an achievement.
No, Shovel Knight's an amazing game. If you didn't play Shovel Knight, you wouldn't understand. Okay?
Is it good?
It's amazing.
What is that, Switch?
I tried. It's hard to get into.
Well, that's because you're not good at platformers. Anyway, Shovel Knight, amazing. You can cross save it. You can literally download your save on your Vita, upload it back into the cloud, go back on your PS4, play it on your screen, so you can play it anywhere. Same game.
No, the Vita was slept on. The Vita's an incredible console. I think by that time when the Vita dropped, people had jumped off the train simply just because they had already had enough PSPs.
Yeah.
And we were waiting for like the new PlayStation console to drop. I'm like,
yeah.
Console I'm gonna have to throw in the PS2. I think there's some legendary games in that catalog. I think one console was still getting games while the new gen version was out, and I'm pretty sure it was the PS2. I think when the PS3 came, they had started developing new games for that for certain, but there was games still being developed for PS2 in that time.
Oh yeah, that is true. Like some of the games that were for PS3, they made PS2 platforms for you to play it on. I do remember that because PS2 was so big, and they brought PS3 just to compete with Xbox. They were still pushing out stuff to PS2.
Big facts.
Yeah, because I think Batman Arkham was one of them. You could play Batman Arkham Asylum on PS2.
Jeez.
Is that where it started, PS2?
No, it didn't. It didn't. It started on PS3, but they made a version for you, I think, to play on PS2. I think. I could be wrong on that.
Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary Edition, $5 right now. I just had to go.
I was just about to say, which one did you download? That's the one? The 20th?
I think it's a Megaton edition. Make sure you guys find it. I think it's called Megaton or something like that. Let me make sure, though.
Ain't no other Duke Nukems.
It's just Duke Nukem World Tour 3D. I just started it. Let me see it. This is looking very familiar. LA Meltdown.
Yeah, there we go. LA Meltdown is the PlayStation version.
Yeah. Okay. And this is crazy. The graphics are updated.
Are they?
Not to a great standard, but they're better than what we played. When we just played at your house that last time.
Oh, that was
this is dope.
That was hard. Well, while y'all doing that, my pick is Sega.
Sega.
Say the original Sega Genesis, all the games. You'll know what it is. You'll have fun. Not trying to compete with nobody else, but you will enjoy it. I'm sure all the little Aqua lads will be in there just like, yo, this little blue spinny guy is the shit.
I get that. Look, the Sega has some iconic games, man. We're not just going to say only Sonic. It got some hits. The Sega got hits.
Well, I said Game Gear. Y'all treated that shit like a domestic dispute.
That was ridiculous.
It came in firing.
Game Gear is ridiculous. We can't not say that.
Why is it ridiculous?
It's bad. It's bad, Will.
How? Y'all, how? Because it was big?
Because we've seen all the other things that they can do with portable. That was
right, but that didn't happen until after Game Gear. Remember, before Game Gear, you had Game Boy with that shitty-ass throw-up green color with all the games.
Right,
But it had Tetris. Boom.
Boom.
Yes.
Also, like if you showed me the Atari, which was before a lot of things, I would also appreciate that a lot more than the Game Gear.
Okay.
Downloaded it?
Yeah, and I didn't. I just found the RPG on the first level.
Well, already? You playing it already?
I'm playing it right now.
Mine's ready in 2 minutes. I already bought it. I would say I would probably just leave a Game Boy Color, to be honest. Like, I think us crossing into handheld with colors, maybe throwing in Super Mario Land 2. I think that's a good rep of us.
Didn't Pokemon Yellow come out on Game Boy Color?
Yellow? I think they all came out on color, right? Or was the first two just regular Game Boy?
I don't know. I was thinking when you said color, those were the ones you threw in with Super Mario.
Yeah, I guess there were some that weren't in color, huh? I guess Red and Blue did come out on regular. Yeah, they did. They came out on regular Game Boy.
Pat, they added a map.
What?
They put a map.
New map?
There's a map. Yo, when you get the game, press the up on the D-pad, bro. You gonna flip. They put a map in the game, finally.
I'm not gonna hear from them for the next 2 days.
What do you mean a map? I thought they
map. Like, you can actually see the level for all the things that you need to go do now. Instead of us just wandering randomly.
They put a mini map?
Yes.
Wow.
Press up on the D-pad and you'll see it. This is crazy. I'm playing this. I have to beat this.
I might have to get the game now. We got a map. I might have to go and get up in this.
30 seconds left.
All right. I guess are we gonna do quarantine and stream with this, or is it too late? It's already done. The damage is done for all y'all.
We can. I'm just gonna be a couple levels in.
Big facts. Well, I'm about it. Let's just run it.
So, all right.
Well, that has been another episode of Games That Define Us. We want to thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure that y'all like, subscribe, share these videos, turn on y'all notifications for arcade tokens, all deaf gaming, and all deaf, because we're on here almost 7 days a week, bringing you the gaming action. And make sure y'all check out our Arcade Tokens Twitch, our individual Twitches, Will Pharaoh, Patrick Cloud, Khleo Thomas, Kadeem as well. Kadeem, what is your Twitch handle?
It's Kathadius. We'll get to that one day. I don't stream enough. I'm streaming everyone else.
But he's gearing up, y'all. He's gearing up. So so we appreciate y'all stopping by. I've been Will Pharaoh.
Khleo Thomas, aka Mr. Slick Living.
I'm Patrick Cloud.
And he is learning to braid again, and we will catch y'all next time.